You find yourself in a position that sounds like a paradox. You have accumulated a substantial nest egg. Let us say you have $1.2 million sitting in individual retirement accounts. Yet, your liquid cash on hand is only $10,000. A crisis hits. You need more liquidity. The instinct is to reach into that $1.5 million pot to fill the gap. It seems logical. You have the assets. Why not use them? But here's the thing. That solution is financially catastrophic for your long-term future. We need to reframe what an emergency fund actually is. Most people treat it as a cash reserve. They think it is a pile of money waiting in a checking account. That is a passive view. A better way to think about it is as liquidity insurance. Insurance is designed to protect you from catastrophic loss. It is not meant to be consumed unless the disaster strikes. When you tap your retirement accounts to build this fund, you are not buying insurance. You are burning your capital to buy a feeling of security. Consider the cost of that transaction. When you withdraw from an individual retirement account before retirement age, you face immediate penalties and taxes. Depending on your specific situation, you could lose 25% of that money to penalties and income taxes. That means if you withdraw $10,000, you might only get $6,000 in your pocket. You have just reduced your net worth significantly to solve a temporary problem, but the damage goes deeper than the immediate tax hit. It is about the lost growth. This is where the math becomes unforgiving. $1.5 million is not just a number. It is a machine that generates wealth over time. When you stop that machine to fund a cash buffer, you stop the compounding engine. Let us say that account earns an average of 7% annually. That is $105,000 in potential earnings every single year. If you withdraw a portion of that principal to keep as cash, you are paying a premium to hold a low-interest asset. You are essentially swapping a high-yield investment for a low-yield checking account. You are losing the power of compounding on the money you move. This is a permanent tax drag. Every year you hold that money in the IRA, it grows. Every year you move it to cash, it stagnates. The gap between those two outcomes widens every single year. Now consider the profile of the person facing this dilemma. You are a high net worth beginner. You have managed to accumulate significant wealth in retirement accounts. Perhaps you have been disciplined with your income and contributions, yet you lack liquidity management skills. This is a common pattern among people who focus heavily on accumulation and neglect distribution planning. You have built a fortress, but the drawbridge is made of cardboard. The solution is not to cut down the trees in your forest to buy a cup of coffee. You need to shore up the drawbridge. There are better ways to handle a $10,000 gap than raiding your retirement. One option is a home equity line of credit. This allows you to borrow against your home equity if you own one. You only pay interest on what you use. You do not pay taxes on the principal. It is a line of credit, not a liquidation of assets. Another option is to liquidate non-retirement assets. Do you have taxable brokerage accounts? Do you have investments that are underperforming or that you no longer need? Selling those assets does not trigger the same penalties as an IRA withdrawal. It does not lock you out of future market gains in the same way. You are simply rebalancing your portfolio to ensure you have enough liquidity without destroying the tax advantages of your retirement savings. There is also the behavioral aspect. When you raid your retirement for cash, you train yourself to treat retirement savings as a piggy bank. This erodes the discipline required to reach your financial goals. You start to view the money as available for emergencies rather than for your future self. This psychological shift is dangerous. It undermines the entire structure of your long-term planning. We must also address the adequacy of the $10,000. While $10,000 is a start, it is likely insufficient for a household with $1.5 million in retirement. The income generated by that retirement portfolio should support your lifestyle. If your emergency fund is only $10,000, it implies your cash flow is tight. The better solution is to increase your cash savings through income or budget adjustments. You build the liquidity over time. You do not borrow against your future to fix your present. Think of your individual retirement accounts as a vault. You do not open the vault to pay for a grocery bill. You open the vault only when you are ready to retire. The $10,000 in cash is your wallet. If your wallet is light, you do not break into the vault. You earn more money. You spend less money. You adjust your habits. This is the fundamental principle of self-financing. You must fund your liquidity needs from your current income, not from your future security. The consensus among financial planning guidelines is clear. A $10,000 emergency fund is generally inadequate for most households, especially those with significant assets. Yet the optimal response is to increase cash savings through income or liquidating non-retirement assets rather than incurring the heavy drag of early IRA withdrawals. Using retirement accounts as a primary emergency fund violates the fundamental principle of self-financing and long-term compounding. Forced liquidations during market downturns lock in losses. If the market drops while you are withdrawing to cover expenses, you are selling low. This permanently erodes the retirement safety net. You are not just paying a tax penalty, you are paying a market timing penalty. You are locking in the losses of the downturn, which means you have less money to recover when the market eventually bounces back. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.